Yes, I'm there. I'm here. Can you hear
Bro,
me?
I can. Um, bro, why did you submit your portfolio? You're pretty good already. Are you?
Um, I've I just need a general review about my portfolio, uh, just to know if I'm doing something wrong or not, if
Right.
I'm in the right direction totally.
First
And
question: Are you planning
okay,
to be a level artist, a lighting artist, or are you doing both?
I'm doing both.
You're both doing both.
Yeah.
And is there any weaknesses you think you have?
Um, I'm not sure about it, but I maybe there is something I don't know, so I don't know it's a weakness already. So I had to have just a highlight about it to know this is a weakness. I should improve. This is good. I should keep on it and so on.
So the first thing I noticed is you have too many stuff on your portfolio.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh, I would probably get rid of all of these. I would probably get rid of this, maybe this one. Uh, this one looks familiar.
yeah.
Have you
This.
have you posted this for feedback or something?
No, I don't think so.
I think someone else did something similar. Get rid of all of this. Probably this. This one is very bright. Is this nighttime?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay. At least for now, I would say without clicking too much. Probably this one as well. I would limit your portfolio. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And if you want to spend time later, we can go through a bit more thoroughly what I think should be removed. Because what happens here when you have multiple things, there's certain people that I know they just post a lot of stuff. The problem is if I scroll down and I am looking for new people to join and I
Hmm.
see some old stuff, I'm like, okay, do you know why this is good, why this is bad? Do you know why this is different than this? That it just gives me more ammunition to ask you questions that you might not know how to answer, and it puts you in a difficult situation. Make sense?
Yeah, that totally makes
So
sense.
you want to eliminate portfolio that's bad. And when I say bad, I mean obviously you have improved since then. So you obviously I don't see the point in keeping it around. To be honest, just don't delete it. You can keep it hidden, and then if you have I don't know job interviews or whatever, you can then go in and say, hey, this is how it was before. Now, the question I haven't asked anyone just yet is, do you know why you did something and do you know how you did something? So let's look at some of your work. You did this for the challenge, I believe.
Yeah, for better lights never
I
challenge.
looked at your reference. Right. Let me scroll down instead. Actually, let's click here. So this was your reference,
Yeah, exactly.
correct? And
Yeah.
what were you trying to do when you looked at this concept?
Um, I tried first to get the same composition with assets I have from Quix and Megascan, and then trying to match the lighting mode to get. I first converted this image into grayscale, so I did know where is the focal points, a basic understanding of the composition. So I started to work based on that grayscale image and try to achieve something similar.
Okay. So, uh, how close do you think you got?
Uh, okay, yeah, maybe 70%.
Because you have a lot of work, so I'm gonna give you a different. I'm gonna use a different approach to give you feedback. Ba, ba-dum, bum, bum. Just gonna. It's okay. We can bring it a little bit up. Okay. So I'm gonna click like this, and you're gonna tell me what you could have done better.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let you tell me with your eyes.
Maybe playing with some colors, like this green color, to get it more in contrast, and maybe some playing with some assets to get a better visuals for these assets to match the concept. And for the lighting mode itself, for the main color, um, I think it's pretty close. Not exact the exact same color, but I had it more cooler color than the reference, and I think yeah, it's pretty much it. Maybe the reference has some highlights in the concept in the background.
Okay. So to my eyes, you obviously have a bit too much blue color.
Hmm.
You can see this one is closer because it has more green in it. Okay.
Okay.
Second, your this area is um, very bright. You have put the light and like covering a lot of distance, lot of area. So if you analyze your reference, you see it's not really doing that. It's very particular. It's very pinpointed. These light sources, they're really just they're really just there.
Hmm.
But if you look at yours, you can see everything a bit clearly, and it's pretty bright. Make sense?
Yeah.
So in your case, and I am being extra picky with you because I think you deserve to have extra pickiness done to you. You're already pretty good, so I think it's more important that you um, get this type of pickiness. I really need to get used to this. Um, so let's see. I wanna burn and I wanna do the highlights. Let's see if it will let me do that. So I would probably, not make it super bright everywhere. Most likely, I will probably darken it a bit up. Obviously, I'm doing a very poor job, but you'll get the point with my not so very impressive Photoshop skills. Okay, so you see, we're more closer to the reference. Obviously, you are more zoomed in first of all,
Hmm.
because of composition, and this one is further away. This one is much closer. So I don't know how picky you want it to be, but this one could have gone further back if you wanted to be true to your reference anyway. That's just that's the point here. This one is actually much further away than it looks like, which is very common. I was in a road trip with a friend, and he kept telling me, "Hey, let's stop the car. Let's go up this cliff rather than finding the actual walkway that human made to go up there. So we can do it. We can do it." I said, "Dude, that's a lot further than it looks like." So we didn't do it, but we went the other way, and it took 5 hours and 50 minutes to get up to the peak up here in North Yorkshire. And he was like, okay, you were right. It looks a lot further than it seems like. And it's the case with this very good concept drawing here. Is this quite far away? You can see the size, and the purpose is to give scale. So if you're gonna do two things as well as Diana, I'm gonna be more picky in your understanding of scale, because our art director would be picking on this as well. He will be going, okay, you know, listen, the scale is not correct. It should be further away. It should be more tiny. The light should be a double lighting. I call them. It's like little dots of lighting. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Do you agree or do you disagree? You are allowed to disagree, of course.
I totally agree with you.
Okay. Uh, Furthermore, your lighting. This is why I like references, because then I can really be picky on helping with the eye training. I'm not gonna be as picky, but it's too much. So in your reference, you can see that it's actually quite bright in here and here, and it doesn't go all the way to the left. It's actually darker on this particular side here. Where is it? So here you will see it's actually getting a bit more darker. If he wants to listen, it will go darker. I don't know if it's actually doing it or not. There we go. Okay. So it's a bit darker. You can see it's, you know, it's going into the shadows here. The focal point is obviously this area. I'm not going to be too picky. I mean, there's a lot I could be picky on in terms of your composition and choice of placement. I don't know how picky you want to be, but just for the record, if you want me to be very true to your reference, there's a bridge that goes here, for example, right? Again, this is the camera angle. This is cinematography now, framing when you took the screenshot.
Mhm.
You see, it's not the
Yeah.
same. It's if you had gone on a higher level, little bit up, tilting down, you would have gotten maybe closer to the true intention of what you wanted. Okay, you can see the waterfall. You can see the rim light on the rocks. You could have pushed that as well. So yeah, I don't want to be too picky, because obviously this is great work by all means. I'm not saying it's bad work at all, but I just wanted to, you know, give you an idea of how different it could also look. But in your case, my impression of what you have done, and you can correct me if it's wrong. My eye is going there because you maybe wanted it to go there, but the thing is, if you talk about shape language, they cannot do because the layer is hidden, blah blah blah. So in terms of shape language, does it mean when I'm saying shape language? I'm saying it's very bright and it lacks gradient. So I see this with my eyes when I look at it. Okay,
Yeah.
but here I don't see this, because pay attention to how the painting is done. The light is there and it's very brief. It's not the brightest one, you
Mhm.
know. It's creating that, okay, it's very distant. The light is inside the building. But if you look at yours, it's like on top of it, if that makes sense. It's like, where's the light coming from, and you don't really see the light source. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right.
uh, the painting definitely has more greenish yellowish. You can see here, you can see here, it has a more of a green color overtone to it. So it would have been more towards this direction. I don't know. I've painted the red line the wrong place, unfortunately. Yeah, so this is a quick feedback. Of course, it's all about looking at you, understanding the values and the painting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hopefully that was useful.
Yeah, it was really. Thank you.
Same thing here. Uh, do you want me to give you realistic feedback, or did you try to do something else?
Um, I prefer to go with realistic feedback.
Okay, let me just check my phone. 30 minutes away. Okay, let me know. 15 minutes next. Okay, so I'm gonna be quick. You wouldn't get this hotspot in real life, would you? Or would you?
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So what does that mean? In real life, if you turn on the light, these are designed to be omni lights. Normally, it's not a spotlight. If it is a spotlight, it wouldn't. Normally, we wouldn't put it in this type of light fixture. The light prop is a light fixture. I don't know if it's a vocabulary you guys are aware of, but when I say light fixture, that's what I'm saying. Um, hold on, let me just make sure we interact with the people. Okay, Clement. Okay, cool. I don't want to check the private chat because we're on one screen, and the purpose of private chat is it's supposed to be private. So you see what I did there very quickly, just making sure the light actually bouncing around the room, right?
Hmm.
I'm not saying it looks better because again, it's the choice of light. It's a combination of warm light and bright light outside. Normally speaking, with this bright light outside, it's clipping. First of all, do you know? I'm gonna guess you know what white clipping, but in case you don't know, white clipping is when you lose the details of these objects, right? So this is white clipping. This is white clipping, meaning it's losing its shape. It's becoming flat. Make sense?
Yeah.
And that's basically what's happening there. And normally that's related to exposure, right? So the problem with the white clipping, the same as photography, is we avoid this overexposing. What we do is we expose for the sky in photography, and then we increase the exposure afterwards to get what we want with the scene. Because now, if you would do anything, you're gonna have some trouble.
Hmm.
But with this window and what you have already going, this is how it would have looked like. Okay,
Okay.
so let's look at the comparison. See the difference?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I think it's correct. First of all, that's a different topic altogether. This orange light wouldn't be this bright. It should be the brightest spot, but it seems like it's still daylight outside. I'm assuming, or no?
Yeah. It should be some kind of overcast lighting, but yeah, at day time.
So this little thing here uh, would in fact be a lot darker, really. And to be honest, generally speaking, this would also actually be a lot darker when it's like this kind of stuff outside. And what I would have done if I was doing it is like realistically speaking, mind you, it's kind of hard to do this here though. I would be pushing this light coming in instead, right?
Hmm. Okay.
So it would be a blue, white light, whatever. Make sense?
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
Yeah. I totally agree.
Okay. Um, quick feedback on so same principle here. Um, yeah, composition, bright light here, bright light there, bright light there. Compositionally is also something we all need to work with. But basically, what I'm seeing here is goes this way. This line, direction light, is telling me to look here, but this one is the brightest light. Make sense?
Yeah.
So when we do as an artist, we have to focus on composition, color, and all these things. These are all not necessarily uh, on the level that I know you can do because I've seen some of your other work, obviously.
Hmm. Okay.
You have this one as well.
Yeah, this is our, yeah, that's it. This is the latest project I worked on.
So I see this is what you looked at, but this is what you ended with. Explain to me what happened or what your intention was.
Okay. At first, I liked the composition of the painting itself, but I tried to go with a different note, maybe something which is overcast and a have a bluish tint and monochromatic at the same time.
Cool. Uh, I don't really have a lot of problem with this. I just wanted to tell you it looks cool. This one is that lens effect you have going.
Yeah, this one added by DaVinci Resolve.
Okay. So I'm not gonna take too much time because I want to make sure I don't forget anyone else as well. But my quick feedback for this one, in this case, it's kind of the same feedback as everything else. It's like color, tone, composition. Play with the colors sometimes to get like a bit more of a fantasy look, warmer look because it's kind of warmer and everything. So I would have gone for this look, just artistic taste really. Um, it has a more of a warmer feel light around the environment when you do that. Second thing, again, personal thing, I don't like this little thing here.
Mhm.
Do you know why?
No, actually.
Compositionally, my eye is telling me look this way. So
Okay.
what I would have done is skip it, but I would have moved this over there, so it says look towards the character compositionally. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, it's always subtle advice, my opinion, obviously, um, and my thought process of it. There are obviously a lot of other things like the fog and the intensity of things in the sky. I would probably have made brighter and such and forth. But yeah, hopefully that was
Okay.
useful.
Yeah, it was very good and helpful feedback.